Hey, what up, Ooses? It's Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots. I'm here with number one Oos, Andrew Lee. Andrew Lee, how you doing, bro?
Feeling very oozy. I'm the people don't realize this, but I am actually gonna be the fifth member of the bloodline I'm gonna debut at WrestleMania.
I know someone's got to debut to WrestleMania. Man, a
I'm
year
gonna
ago,
make it a I'm gonna make it a four-way match. Me, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk.
just for the it's just for the honor of being on the WrestleMania card because it's an honor to be on
Dude,
at WrestleMania.
I'm gonna main event WrestleMania. Sure, there's nothing on the line in our match, but who cares? I'm main eventing WrestleMania, dude.
Dude, it's such an honor just that the Triple H invited me into the arena. Like I want to blow him, you know.
It's a huge honor. It's massive honor. The
I
biggest honor.
just It's the biggest, yeah. Like I don't need a title. Like I don't need to win anything. In fact, I hope I get put on Sunday Night Heat after the show. I just like to be included on the show. It means a lot to me because I
I
have
don't even
nothing.
need a storyline.
Dude,
I'm just got a main event. I don't need a storyline. I just got a main event, bro.
so a year ago we were doing SummerSlam '93, and it was WrestleMania week. Now we're up doing SummerSlam '96, but it's not WrestleMania week. That is still to come. I really think they should have just had WrestleMania this weekend. I don't like that it's so late in the month. I think it's stupid. I think they've run out of gas, and I think they just need to have it today. I think it's time. It's time. You know, it.
Yeah.
I hope they don't make it. If they do make it again this late, they've got to plot things out better.
hmm
Yeah,
But you know what was plotted out pretty decently was this SummerSlam,
you like it?
1996. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. You
I'll tell
know.
you, the show is saved by the last two matches.
No, there was some. We'll get into it. I didn't think it was just the last two matches. There was some decent stuff in here. Um, I mean, we have to, you told us, you said this a while ago, but now we're in the zone of there's a WCW pay per view and a WWF pay per view every month. So I like comparing it against the WCW pay per view of August because SummerSlam takes place in August, but we haven't gotten to it yet. So I haven't compared it to that yet, but without on its own, it's okay. I
No,
mean,
we got
it's
to
not
Road Wild
terrible.
is August. Road Wild is August.
What?
Road Wild is Hog Wild is August, Moose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh, we already did Hogwild, right? I apologize.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we have to compare them. Hog Wild's
Okay.
better to
Yeah.
me.
Hogwild is much better. 100%. Hogwild
Mhm.
is much better. Um, no, 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 wait, no, no, not much better. Hogwild is better up to a certain point. Because, like I said, I didn't like the fact that Sturgis was the main focus of Hogwild, and it took away from the NWO storyline that they're just entering into, right? Whereas in SummerSlam, it's like more wrestling focused. I still agree with you. Hogwild is better than SummerSlam. I still agree in that point. So if we're tallying score again, it's like WCW is like, what is it, two zip? 2-1. 2-1,
It's
right?
3-1. It's 3-1.
3-1.
WWF
3-1.
WWF won in May, and then WCW has swept since June, July, August.
Yeah, yeah. But not to take away from SummerSlam 1996, it's technically not a bad show. It just, WCW is a little better. So SummerSlam 1996, opposites attack, taking place August 18th, 1996, in the Gund Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. 17,000 people are in attendance and 157 pay-per-view buys. Let's do a little comparison. The
Mm-hmm.
SummerSlam previous to this
Mm-hmm.
had 205,000 buys. So this is a drop. It's like about a 50,000 drop in pay-per-view buys. Now, like we were just talking about comparing it against Hog Wild. So let's compare the numbers. Hog Wild took place on August 10th, so that's about 8 days before SummerSlam. It only had 5,000 people in attendance, but here's the thing, nobody paid, right?
Yeah,
Nobody paid for
but
it.
it was lost leader.
Yeah, but pay-per-view buys, they had 220,000. So they had a lot more pay-per-view buys than SummerSlam. Now,
Yeah,
here is, yeah, I was
no,
gonna
no,
say,
because the storyline's more interesting on WCW than it is in WWF right now.
yeah. So let's just like if you're talking about it, somebody may who's listening to this might go, well, Hog Wild, nobody paid for tickets. I'm like, all right, that's true. But let's just so we could only go by pay-per-view numbers, cost, right?
Mhm.
SummerSlam pay-per-view, it costs $30. So if you multiply, if you do the math, 157,000, $30 each, it's about 400, no, it's about $4,710,000. Hog Wild, the pay per view costs a little less. It's $28, $2 less. But they had way more. So their pay per view buys alone, it was like 6 million, over 6 million. So they're outdrawing WWF and pay per view dollars by over a million. So I
Yeah.
don't at this point. I'm like, yeah, I don't think the ticket prices, the fact that they made no ticket sales means any difference because
Well,
if you're they drew more in pay per view dollars and they got sponsors out of it. So I mean,
and also the other thing too is like they're drawing on nitros and they're drawing at Saturday Night's Main Event tapings and they're drawing on house shows, so they can sacrifice one event that month to make sponsors and to create goodwill in whoever they're trying to court on the auto industry side. So and plus they make money on pay per view. So to me, it's like WCW. When you're hot, you can afford to do a free show.
yeah, yeah, and you're not you're still kicking their ass in the pay per view numbers. So you're making bank. Do you think that I think that also helped that their pay per views were $2 less? So if you're like, okay, back then there's no internet. If you want to watch this, you gotta fork over money every month. If there's two pay per views in the same month of August, and your
Yeah.
mom is only allowing you up to $30 one pay per view, and you're like, man, 30 or 28, you have to pick one. You might be like, man, there's better storylines here, and not only that, it's $2 less. You know, you're just more inclined to get Hog Wild.
I mean, I would, if I could only pick one, I would have picked Hog Wild. Um, I think the thing. Did you, by the way, you watched it on Peacock, right?
Yeah, I did.
So I watched this on DVD. Did it have a commercial for a Shawn Michaels sweatshirt that said "sexy"? That like talked about how hot he was. Did you see that commercial on Peacock?
Let me see.
It started off with like how sexy he was, and it's kind of like almost made like it's like I thought they're gonna advertise like a one night like the Playgirl article, but it's very much like how hot he is. But the advertising for like a Shawn Michaels jean jacket.
I don't remember, but what are you trying to allude to?
I'm trying to allude to it's just not appealing to men. The whole thing they're doing with Shawn Michaels is not appealing. It's just not appealing. It's just doing like this fucking Playboy TV music and telling me how hot Shawn Michaels is. And you know what? I'm looking at Shawn Michaels objectively at this point because I just like as a little kid I assume like yeah, women want to fuck him because he has long hair and muscles, but I'm kind of actually looking at the way he talks. I don't think like I don't think a lot of women would find him that attractive compared to like the other men on the show. I don't think he's that much more attractive than Bret Hart or Kevin Nash, or I'm talking about like of a woman. And I haven't gone to a woman and I had asked her, but I think most women nowadays would have picked other wrestlers than him as like the hot guy on the show. I don't know. It's
Okay,
just
so I'm going to agree with you on some things and disagree with John on some other things, and I'll explain why.
Mhm.
I think, okay, 100% they're marketing Shawn Michaels as he's like the hottest, like sexiest man in the world, right? And
Mhm.
if you watch this, women do go gaga for this guy, like gaga, super gaga for this guy. We saw a pay per view where fans were just reaching out to touch him, and they fell off the railing, and these little female fans were like, they just like can't wait to touch this guy. So that's what they're marketing at. The problem is, and and I agree with you, it turns off male fans, and the problem is, majority of wrestling fans are men. I
Yeah.
Female wrestling fans, especially in the 1996, it's not a big percentage. So if your target audience is mostly male and this guy is not doing it for men, because it wasn't, I agree, it wasn't doing it for me either. this is kind of like why your fucking ratings and shit is kind of, and your pay-per-view numbers aren't as good, because you're targeting the niche market. It's almost like AEW. You're targeting the smaller group of fan base, you know? And it's just
Mhm.
like, but I will say, I think women love him. They go gaga for fucking
But
Shawn.
yeah, but like it's the women who drank the WWE Kool-Aid that are going gaga for him. Most people are watching WCW or they're not watching at all. There's still like, look, if Tony Khan tomorrow decides he's going to market Swerve as the hottest black man in the world, there's going to be some fat slob women that fucking drink the Kool-Aid and scream for him. And I guarantee Dave Meltzer is going to talk about how hot he is. But like, it's not true. But like, I don't know. I feel like, you know who would have been better if you're going to go like, oh my God, my world champion is so hot. You know who would have been better for this? Because women did actually find this man extremely attractive was Kerry Von Erich.
No, but 1996 at this point.
I know, but I'm saying like he would have been like in the 80s marketing him as like, look at my hot world champion. Don't you want to fuck him? He would have been better because something about him over Shawn Michaels, he's not a good worker like Shawn Michaels, but something about him is appealing to me and I'm okay with women wanting to fuck him. Same thing with Magnum TA. Whereas this feels forced. This feels like a little weird, and I'd rather watch WCW. You know, there's something more.
Yeah.
There's something more that Magnum TA and Kerry Von Erich have something that he doesn't. It's hard for me to explain because he's definitely a better worker than you know.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's 1980 something or 91.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, and here's the thing: at that time, you didn't need to market someone as being super sexy because you had guys like
No, they did
Hogan.
market Kerry Von Erich like that in
No, but I'm
Texas.
saying you didn't push him as like the top guy being just that he's sexy, because you had all these over the top personalities. In 1996, the roster is pretty thin as far as like guys that are really popular in WWF. If you there's in that roster right now, Shawn Michaels is the best looking guy at this point. Who is it? Fucking Mankind? Savio Vega with his fucking huge belly? Like who? And there's
Oh,
nobody else.
dude,
It's Shawn
I
Michaels.
know a couple of fucking Hispanic women that would go nuts for Savio Vega. They'd be like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
that's true.
papi,
A bunch of
papi,
Tias.
estamos."
Yeah, a bunch of
Mm.
Tias. But anyway, let's get into this. The
Billy
intro,
Gunn, Billy Gunn's a better looking guy. Anyway, sorry.
Billy Gunn, yeah. Intro to this. Let's get into this. The intro to SummerSlam. It highlights these monsters that have now entered and is running shop in WWF. We got Vader and we got Mankind, and we got the Monster Slayers, Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, and Undertaker. Where I'm like, oh, Undertaker's kind of a monster himself. It's kind of weird, but all right.
Well,
So yeah, that's the two main matches that they're highlighting.
they were trying to push. They said in the promo, and Jim Ross does a good job of this in '98. That Undertaker's the light in the darkness. Like even though he's a dark character, he's the feet. He's the conscious. He's like the good dark. Whereas like Mankind and Kane and Vader are the bad dark. You know.
Yeah, the bad dark. The bad dark.
You know
That
those
should
bad dark
that
people.
needs to be that needs to be a name of a wrestling tag team. The Bad Dark. I like that. That's actually a pretty good one.
The bad
Dark
dark.
Order in AEW should change the name to Bad Dark, and
Bad
then
dark.
do a whole thing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, kind of similar to Hogwild. They begin the show by showcasing beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. They got the new Gund Arena, guys. Check out the Gund Arena. Gund Arena, it's old now, but it actually opened in 1994, October 1994. So this is fairly new. It's like less than 2 years old. I mean, it's about 2 years old. And we got Jim Ross, Vince McMahon Jr. and Mr. Perfect on commentary. You'll be like, oh, where's Jerry the King Lawler? Well, we're gonna get to Jerry the King Lawler later on, but that is the commentary team for today. Mr. Perfect is kind of doing the jack of all trades role at this point, where he's either a backstage, he's gonna be a backstage interviewer, he's gonna be on commentary, he's gonna guest referee. He's just like he doesn't have like an actual place. He's just like a guy doing everything at this point.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
Yeah, all over the place. All right, let's go to match number one. We just talked about the sexy man that all the Tias go for. Savio Vega versus Owen
Yeah.
Hart. Owen Hart, who's still got the cast on his arm. And Owen wants to use this cast on Vega right away, but the referee stops him and goes, you can't use your cast you can't hit him with this cast. So, it's a little foreshadowing, I think. And then so anyway, we get during this match, they show you in the back, they show you in the locker room, Vader warming up for his main event match against Shawn Michaels with Jim Cornette with him. And the commentary team talks about, hey, Jim Cornette's not out there with Owen Hart like he normally is, even though he's his manager. He's focusing on Vader. And during this match, I don't know if you noticed this, Ray, but they bring up Bret Hart a lot on commentary.
Yes.
Junior's feeling it. He's like, damn, I need my star back, right?
Well, yeah, well, here's the thing. So Bischoff denies this. While this is happening, Bret Hart is thinking about going to WCW. And this is where around the time Vince. So in 2 months, Bret Hart announces he's back. So there's a Raw in '96. And Bruce Pritchard claims that they didn't know what he was going to say. I think that's bullshit. You're not going to put some. If Cody Rhodes goes to. If no one's going to say to Vince or anyone, Hunter, Tony Khan, I don't know if I'm going to go to WWF or AEW or WWF or WCW. We'll just announce it on the air. So you really think Bret Hart is going to walk out on Raw and be like, I've decided to go to WCW. Thanks for everything, guys. I'll see you on Nitro next week.
Exactly. That's not realistic.
Yeah, that's not realistic. So, but during this time, Bischoff is courting Bret. And I actually think if Bret came in the fall of '96 as opposed to the fall of '97, it would have been a much bigger blow. Like, can you imagine if the fifth member or the fourth member of the NWO was Bret Hart? I think that would have been like massive. So Vince wants
I
Bret.
don't actually know if that happened. I don't actually know if WWF would survive.
Exactly, because that's a massive, like, you can build it to another mystery guy, and then like you think, and then like you can do the opposite, because everyone kind of thought there's going to be a third WWF guy, and then Hogan turned heel. You can tease like, oh, Sting is going to turn heel. Like the fans are convinced that Sting or Luger is going to turn on WCW, and then it's a new guy. It's Bret Hart. He shows up, and then everyone's like, what? So now you don't know what to expect, because when you think someone's going to turn, a new guy shows up. When you think a new guy shows up, someone turns. It's like you're really playing with people's minds.
Not only that, if
the match
Bret
is awesome.
Hart goes over to WCW 1996, that turn with Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't even happen.
And also, you can tell that he doesn't really believe in Austin because he's not on this show. That was the thing I want to bring up. My major problem with this show is Austin's not on the show. And let's say like you don't believe in Austin or whatever, that's fine. He won the King of the Ring. He's not on the show. Everyone he beat is on the show. So that tells the viewer, don't take the King of the Ring seriously, because the fucking guy who won it's on the pre-show. And meanwhile, Mark Marrow and Jake the Snake are on the main card.
Yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin, if you guys are wondering, he's actually going to be in the Free for All, which is like the Sunday Night Heat of it's like the pre-show for this pay-per-view. So he's on the pre-show beating Yokozuna in like under 2 minutes. Doesn't really count for anything. Yeah, and if Bret Hart goes,
I've seen the match. Stinks. The match stinks.
I believe you. Yeah, but if Bret Hart goes to WCW 1996, I really don't know if there would be a WWF or WWE right now, because the Austin thing doesn't happen. Evil Mr. McMahon doesn't happen.
The Rock doesn't happen because
The Rock would get buried by the Clique,
and Bret Hart defended him.
Yes, exactly. So if Bret Hart goes away, I don't know. This will be a whole different story. But they do bring up a lot in commentary during this match.
Because he sweated it, because he knows, and that's why he gives Bret such a phenomenal deal. The 20 years. I mean, a 20-year deal, 10 as a performer, 10 as a producer, like a coach, like he would have became Triple H. The money is insane. And a year later, I think the reason why he gets rid of Bret is like, he's like, okay, ultimately this guy's not going to make much of a difference in my business. And I'm in the Stone Cold business now. I need to give all my money to Stone Cold. Also, I think the other reason why he tells Bret Hart to take a hike in the end of '97, Hogan's contract is up at the end of '97. So can you imagine Hogan loses the Sting clean in the middle of the ring, and then goes to WWF, and the main event of WrestleMania 14 is Hogan versus Austin, with Austin winning? Like, you keep Hogan as a heel, or even like you do Hogan versus Shawn Michaels or something at WrestleMania, and you have Austin fight someone else. Like you free up that Bret Hart money to get Hogan. Can you imagine Hogan jumping over after a year of the NWO? So I think Vince was like, I'm in the Austin business. And also he offers Ultimate Warrior an incredible deal at the end of 97. So I think he was like, my business isn't changing with Bret Hart. I need to get someone who can make my business change. And it was Mike Tyson and Austin, but yeah, Austin. You know what I'm saying?
So let's get back to this first match. Savio Vega, this is really funny spot where um, Owen has Vega in an armbar, and then Vega bites Owen in the thigh to get out of it. I've never seen someone get out of a submission hold by biting the other guy in the thigh, but it's really funny. But you know what? That's more realistic too, because like that would happen in a fight. If somebody has you in some kind of crazy arm thing where you feel like your arm's gonna break, you're just gonna
Oh yeah,
do
sure.
whatever
That's
you can to
exactly
get out of it. Um, while this is happening, Clarence Mason, the lawyer, comes out and he starts cheering on Owen Hart during this match. Owen Hart does, however, take off his cast, and then he hits Savio Vega with it, and then he applies the sharpshooter to win the match. Afterwards, Clarence Mason comes out and he celebrates with Owen Hart, and then all of a sudden, Justin Hawk Bradshaw comes out with Zeb Coulter. They start yelling at Vince McMahon Jr. for some reason, and then they attack Salvio Vega after the match. Poor Salvio, he gets beaten basically twice. I give this a
Oos, you
B.
there, Oos?
It's not a bad match, you know?
Andrew Lee, you there?
Yeah,
Hello? You
yeah.
there, Oos?
Mm-hmm.
We're having we have a little technical difficulties. You froze. How am I on my end, Oos?
You're you're still talking. I could hear you.
Oh, I can't hear. I can't hear you. Hold on. Let me see if this fixes anything.
Oh, it froze for me now.
How about you hear me now?
I can hear you, but you froze a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We're better.
Okay.
Do you have some interference in your house? Was
No,
Tony? Were you
it
watching
was.
Max? Were you one of the millions of people that watch Max every week?
Yeah, it crashed all of a sudden.
All right, we're back.
So okay, let me just to recap again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, after Owen Hart puts the sharpshooter on Sylvia Vega to win, and Clarence Mason comes out and celebrates with Owen Hart, Justin Hawk Bradshaw, Zeb Coulter, they come out and they go to the commentary team and they start yelling at Vince McMahon Jr. for a bit, and then they attack Savio Vega as he's leaving. So poor Savio gets beaten up twice here, but I think this was a very fun opening match. I gave it a B. Did you like this opening match?
I did. I didn't hate it. It was nice to see Owen Hart in a one-on-one singles match. We don't see that much anymore. He's always in tags, or he's always like
Yeah.
trapped with Yokozuna or Bulldog or Vader or other idiots. Um, so it was nice to see him in a one-on-one match, and I think he delivered. And I think Savio did a good job. And I'm starting to realize, Austin and a lot of other people say Savio like really helped them, and I'm starting to realize also what was significant about this match is Clarence Mason showed up to scout the match, and they mentioned that he's managing Crush, and that is planting the seeds for the Nation of Domination. And little does anyone know, the Nation of Domination will eventually help The Rock become the biggest star, not just in wrestling but the world. So, see, the thing about it is, even when these shows aren't that great in WWF in '96, there's seeds being planted that are going to lead to some of the biggest wrestling shows of all time. You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I will tell you, Salvio Vega, so far, I have not, during watching these pay per views, I have yet to see like a really bad Salvio Vega match. He's
Mhm.
not putting out classics, right? I wouldn't say he's doing anything like that, but he's definitely like a solid worker. Like he's good at making his opponents look good, and he's good at just telling a compelling story in the match. So he's very underrated, Savio Vega. You know,
You're gonna learn. You're in the ring with Savio Vega. You're gonna look good, and you're gonna learn, and you're gonna come out of the match a better wrestler.
I agree. All right, so after this, we get a Todd Pettingale. He's in the boiler room,
Oh,
guys.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Before we continue, I have to interrupt. Did you hear Vince when they brought up Bill Clinton that it's his birthday and Vince like shits on him? Yo, 50, real young or something. Like Vince like just gets mad about Clinton in the middle of the commentary.
No, I didn't.
Maybe it's in the next match, but it's so funny how he does not like Bill Clinton and he has to make a scene. Like he has to like kind of like allude to how much he doesn't like Bill Clinton every show. I think it's really funny.
Yeah, I mean he definitely doesn't like the Democrats. Definitely doesn't.
No.
Um, so after this, like I said, Todd Pettingale, he's in a scary boiler room, guys. It's really creepy, and he's looking for Mankind. He finds Mankind, who cuts a creepy promo, and he starts licking the pipes. Oh, that was nasty. He lit some dusty ass pipes, and Todd Pettingale no sells it. He doesn't give a fuck that he licks some pipes. He just goes, "All
It's
right,
like,
back
yeah,
to
good for you,
you guys." I was like, "All right," it's typical like the scary place, but he's like, "All right, back to you guys." I was like, "All right, Todd, you can't fucking act scared just a little bit, dude."
look, weird things going on here, guys. But let's get back to the arena.
By the way, I have been re-listening to a lot of something to wrestle with Bruce Pritchard because while we're watching this, it's good reference for a lot of the stuff we're watching.
Yeah.
He loves Todd Pettingale, and he said Todd Pettingale was like he was the reason why they liked him so much was because he didn't say no to anything. He said, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." He was like a "Yeah, sure, I'll do anything" kind of guy. You tell him, "Hey, we need you to do this." You go, "Okay." He'll just do it, and he'll do it well. And I was like, that's true. That's true. He was always good. I find him all right. I wish he was back in the company. He's kind of fun to like watch.
What the funny thing is, I find him annoying when I watch the old shows, but man, he'd be a breath of fresh air in the company now. He, you
You find
know
him annoying.
what?
You find him annoying.
Yeah, I do. He's very fake New York radio to me. Um, but I find it endearing. I would find it endearing now. He was doing it now. It would be what the I'll tell dude, if you told me on Monday the commentary team was gonna be Vince McMahon and Jim Ross and Todd Pentakel was gonna interview people, and that was a new team, I'd be seated for Raw Monday night. And be like, oh, what an improvement to the presentation. If Vince and Jim Ross were the commentators again, oh my god, fucking the show would be 20 times better. And which is so funny because here's the deal: when I'm watching these '96 shows, I don't think Vince is that good, but he's so much better than the people nowadays. He blows away Excalibur, Michael Cole, Pat McCaffrey, Corey Graves. He just blows them away. It's not even close, and
Yeah.
he's not even that great.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go to match number 2. It is a 4-way tag match. That means there's 4 tag teams involved in this championship match. We got the New Rockers. We got Marty Jannetty and Leif Cassidy, who's gonna go on to become who? Ray?
Al Snow, and what does everybody want? What does everybody want, Andrew?
Young as Snow as Leif Cassidy and Marty Jannetty, the New Rockers. I hated the New Rockers, by the way. I hated anything that was like new this, new that. It's stupid.
I just think it's like you got a great worker and you got an okay worker and Al Snow and you're like rooting their chances before it's just like it's already you kind of given up on them.
Yeah. We got the Body Donnas. Skip comes out in a neck brace. And you got the Godwins, who come out with Hillbilly Jim, and they come out with a little cute little bloodhound. They come out with some pigs. They're both holding pigs, like little baby pigs. That was cute. Versus the champions, the Smoking Guns with Sunny. You do see Superfan Vlad in the front row. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, it's good for you. By the way, this match is noted as being the first 4-way match on a WWF pay-per-view. So I was like, all right, that's historic.
Yeah, I gotta start. Yeah, it can only go up from here.
Yeah. By the way, Billy Gunn is also in a cast. He broke his thumb, so he has a cast too. And him and Henry Godwin, they start the match. And then Phineas and Zip get in there. Actually, there was a stupid part where Phineas and Zip they get in the match, and they both, because you only two men are allowed at the same time, so it's like you tag anybody you want, and they both decided to tag both the Guns, Billy and Bart. So Billy and Bart get in, and they have to both fight each other, but they decide never to do that, and they just like fight the other guy. They just tag somebody else in, and they do that. So why even do this stupid spot? Why even do it if it's not going to lead to anything? It was stupid. It was
because it's a waste of time, this match. That's why.
Yeah, that was a waste of time. Marty Jannetty, he trips up Zip, and then Billy Gunn hits Zip with the cast on his arm to eliminate the Body Donnas first. Skip does not even get in this match at all because he actually fractured his vertebrae the week before or something. So it's a legit. He was legit hurt. He couldn't wrestle. So that's why, if anybody's wondering, he wasn't getting buried. He just couldn't fucking wrestle. Liv Cassidy, he gets in there with Henry Godwinn for basically his pay-per-view debut, right? And he accidentally hits Billy Gunn twice, which pisses off Billy Gunn because the New Rockers are actually not good guys in this match either. They're supposed to be bad guys. So
No, they're heels. They're heels.
yeah,
They're supposed to be like, if you watched it on TV, the gimmick was like they're out of touch idiots.
yeah. So basically, him hitting Billy Gunn twice is causing the two heel teams to have issues with each other. And this allows Henry Godwinn to hit the slop drop on Marty Jannetty to take the Rockers out, the New Rockers out, and then Phineas, basically the Godwins and the Guns are the only ones left. Phineas hits a slop drop on Billy Gunn, but then Hillbilly Jim, he takes a slop bucket and he tries to slop Sonny on the outside, which Hillbilly Jim's like the worst manager because he's basically distracting
That's
the
what I would
referee.
say.
Yeah, he's the worst manager. He distracts the referee. So even though the Godwins have the cover, like the referee's not counting it because he's distracted by their own manager. And this allows Bart Gunn to drop an elbow on Phineas, and then he reversed the cover for the Smoking Guns to retain their championship. You see so much charisma from Billy Gunn in this match. He's like the star of the show. After this match, Sunny gets in the ring. She cuts a good heel promo about how everybody's disgusting, and then they're all here.
Who's not that bad looking. They cut
Yeah,
to like a poor woman who's like not the worst, and
yeah.
they stay on it.
She's
They
calling
stay on.
she's calling all the women like slobs and like ugly, and they cut to this like woman who, you're right, she's not drop dead gorgeous, but she's not a slob either. But it's like, oh man, can you imagine? You're like, hey, you guys, I was on the pay-per-view. Did you guys see me? And they're like, yeah, we saw you. You were. They showed you when they were referring to all the ugly women. You would be like, what? But anyway, the point of Sunny's promo is after she cuts his promo about how ugly or what it is, she goes, "You're all here to see me, so I'm going to give you guys a gift." And they drop from the ceiling a humongous picture of Sunny for everybody to look at.
It's
Good
actually not
heel
that good.
stuff.
It's not that good of a poster of Sunny.
No, but yeah, but it makes Sunny look like such an asshole, right?
Yeah.
She's so full of herself. This was a C. It's like an average match. What did you think of the match, and what did you think about the antics afterwards with Sunny?
I'm tired. I'm tired of the Sunny angle. It's officially. I love Sunny. You know, I'm a big Sunny guy. You
Yeah.
know, I'm willing to forgive murder. Um, I'm willing to forgive. Listen, I'm willing to forgive you if you murder someone. I'm not willing to forgive you if you're boring. And this is going nowhere fast. It's dragging down the entire tag division. Um, it's just a waste. Like when at this point, when we're watching these WWF shows from '96, when the tag teams walk out, I know like it's just a waste of time until Sunny does something. And then like the poster they unveil of Sunny is like one of the worst photos they've ever taken of her. She looks like a mom at a PTA meeting. I'm like, why is this the photo you like? I don't know. I can't get into the tag division anymore. And there's more. There's more Sunny tag division nonsense to come in the rest of 1996. I'm so over
Yeah.
it. I'm over it. Like they're just wasting. It's just like it's you know what it is. The tag division in WWF '96. We need to waste 20 minutes of a show, and that's what they do.
When you compare WCW's tag division with WWF's tag division 1996, it's like night and day. You
Yeah,
know, they've
yeah, it
got like
is.
Hall of Fame, like more than half the roster of the tag teams division in WCW is like it's like Hall of Famers,
Mhm.
Steiners, the Road Warriors, the Harlem
Harlem
Heat, yeah,
outside
Outsiders. It's like this is the
faces like
Nasty
beer.
Boys. Yeah, here you got the New Rockers. It's like, what are you guys doing here? You know, it's
You know
like,
who's in You know who's in WCW at this time, but they're not on the pay-per-views. Well, also you have the Four Horsemen. You know, any combination is killer if you put them in a tag
uh-huh.
match, including if you have Steve. You can put Steve. You can put Mongo with Benoit. You can put Mongo with Ric Flair. You can put Mongo. You can put Arn with Ric Flair. It's fucking Ric Flair with any of those guys. Um, you know who else? The Rock and Roll Express are in the tag division. They're just not on the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
I think Bobby Eaton and William Regal every now and then still team too.
Yeah.
And
The
that's
Blue Bloods. Yeah. I would say 1996 WCW is the best tag team roster of all time after AEW's tag team roster from
I like
2019.
the 88 WWF tag division.
Yeah.
That's 10 teams that are killer. You have the Bolshevik, you have the Rockers, you have the Brainbuster, you have the Rougeos, you have Demolition, Powers of Pain. I'm sorry, there's 11 teams. Bushwhackers, Killer Bees, um, fucking the Bulldogs. I mean, Heart Foundation. That's just a murderer's row of tag teams. Strike
I'll be
Force.
honest, I was never a Killer Bees fan. They just weren't.
You know
They
what
just,
though? But they're good with the Heart Foundation. You put them with the right people, it's gonna be a good time.
yeah. All right, so we get a recap of the Godwins. So
The guy.
kind of similar. I don't know why. I'm obviously this is one thing I'm glad they don't do anymore at any of these pay-per-views or PLEs anymore now.
Wait, the
But
Godwins after the match, they have a Godwins.
no. I'm gonna get to it. Similar to what they did in Hogwild, where they were like, "Hey, check Sturgis, guys, Sturgis." Here, after this match, they're gonna be like, "Cleveland, everybody, check out all this Cleveland stuff." So we get a
Oh, they
recap.
cut that from the DVD. I don't have that on the DVD.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad they cut that from the DVD because that would have been a waste of your time. You probably would have burned up the DVD after this. So the Godwins, they're outside enjoying beautiful Cleveland, and they're like, "Hey guys, Cleveland's got the light. It's got the light rail. We're gonna ride this light rail, and we're gonna race the Guns, who are gonna get on a horse and carriage because they're cowboys, and we're gonna see who can get to the gun arena first." It's so stupid. It's all narrated by your favorite Todd Pettengill, so you can imagine how it sounds. Right?
Wow, I missed this. Thank God.
Yeah, Jerry the King Lawler, he's at Jacobs Field, which is the baseball stadium, and he's trying to get like baseball players like Sandy Alomar and Charles Nagy to like, "Hey, do a spitball. Spitball's they're like, "Spitball's a legal throw. Come on, guys, do the spitball." And then the reason why Jerry the King Lawler is there is because he's gonna throw out the first pitch. And Sandy Alomar goes, "I'll pow drive you." That was probably the highlight. He throws the first pitch, and then they show him all the way up in the nosebleeds. And he mentions, he goes, Junior got him really bad seats. That was like one of the first times, like, hey, they're kind of alluding that he's the owner, you know?
Mhm.
Kind of. And then you get the WWEF superstars painting a dirty wall in the ghetto side of Cleveland because WWF cares, Ray. We have Sonny, we have the Godwins, Savio Vega, Mark Henry, the Body Donnas, Bob Holly, and a whole bunch of little children. They start painting this giant wall, painting over the graffiti on this giant wall. And
Wait, I was spending shooting with the Godwins. Why is she helping the community with them?
exactly, yeah, it's so stupid, right? Yeah, it's so dumb. And she's with there with the Body Donnas too. She's with their Body Donnas, so they're all there painting this wall. Undertaker and Paul Bear, they gave away a funeral. I don't know what. I think it was just like somebody gets to like take some photos in a fake funeral setup, and then they do an autograph signing. This was all for SummerSlam weekend. They did a SummerSlam whole weekend thing at Cleveland. So I'm glad you missed it because I was like, oh, this. I'm
Well,
so
I'll tell you
glad they did this. Like,
that stuff sounds more fun than these overpriced WWF shops where you have to pay to go in. You know, now you have to pay on the WrestleMania or these like, you know, they set up these like pop-up stores. You have to pay to get in the store and just so you have the right to go spend $50 on like a WrestleMania shirt, you know?
wow, you have to pay to get in.
Yeah, they started that last year. Yeah, you have to pay to get it. It was free in LA in 23 when I went with my niece and my nephew, James and Marissa. But in Cleveland, I'm sorry, in Philly, you have to pay to go in. I think this year in Vegas. You have to pay to go. You
Last year,
can't go into the store to buy shirts.
last year did you pay to go in?
I no, are you kidding me?
Oh,
Dude,
okay.
I spent $80 on shirts in LA at that store. I bought a Comedy Store WrestleMania shirt, which I love. I'm so glad I bought that because you're never gonna see that again. And I got the I Was There shirt. If I'm going into your store to pay $80 on two shirts that like most people wouldn't wear, I'm not paying you $1 to go in. You should be lucky I'm buying these shirts.
See, that's how I feel about cons.
Mm-hmm.
Any like Comic Cons or anything like that, I shouldn't have to pay to get it. I
Yeah,
agree. That's how I feel, about it.
like I'm
But
buying garbage that you think WWE wants WrestleMania Comedy Store shirts in the warehouse? No, they're worthless now. I
mm,
get $40 for one. Like, bro, you should thank me. You should like
yeah,
give me a cookie when I walk in.
yeah. So
Mhm.
after this, we get Doc Hendricks. He's in the back with Psycho Sid, and Psycho Sid cuts a promo. But I could barely hear the promo because they're doing this while Bulldog's theme is playing because that's
Mhm.
the opponent. I could barely
I
hear it. I was
think
just
the
like,
sound
oh,
mix. Sometimes the sound mix on Peacock's not that good.
yeah. So we're gonna go to match number 3. It is the British Bulldog versus Psycho Sid, who this crowd is super into. They just love this guy. Clarence Mason comes out once again this to cheer on Davey Boy Smith. They do show you in the locker room that Vader and Jim Cornette are in the locker room still, and they show you that Jim Cornette is now watching or following this match on a monitor of his own. So Davey Boy Smith, to his credit, he does manhandle Sid uh, a little bit as well, like with a suplex of his own, a vertical drop on the ropes, all this stuff. Jim Cornette comes out though because he's monitoring this in the background and he starts arguing with Clarence Mason, like, "What are you doing? You trying to steal my clients?" And this argument distracts Davey Boy Smith after he had already hit his power slam finisher, and because of this distraction, he turns around and Sid choke slams him and then gives him a power bomb to win the match. This was a good match. It wasn't like a complete squash that I thought it was going to be. They still made Davey look decently strong, and he only lost because of that stupid distraction. So I gave this a B. This was a good, decent match, I thought.
Um, I like this match a lot. You can tell from the crowd cheering. It's Sid's time. It is time for Sid. I think the problem was for so many years now they've been trying to make Sid a heel. People don't want to boo Sid. He's naturally likable. I think the fans can sense that WWE finally understands that we want Sid. We wanted Sid since 1989, and it's his time. And I love watching Sid, and this was a good match to get over. And yeah, it's just you can just sense that this is his year, and it was his year. This is probably the best year of his career.
Yeah, so if you're following, we're 3 matches in. You and I both agree. 2 of those matches so far are pretty good. So it's not a bad pay per view so far. It's
I mean, they're
enjoyable.
good. They're not like the greatest.
Yeah, but no, the whole time I'm watching, I'm not like enjoying. I'm enjoying myself while I'm watching it. So I'm like,
Yeah.
that's
But
decent.
this streak's about to end pretty soon. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. So we get that aliens coming down. They were like, we want to watch In Your House with You, nerd. You Mark, we want to watch it. And guess what? We're gonna bring some babes, and then they fucking have babes with them. Speaking of
Dude,
babes,
cut this. They cut this out of the DVD too. Wow.
really, they did. Oh, it's that stupid commercial they have. Like, ooh, In Your House, you gotta watch it. You get babes if you watch it. Um, Speaking of babes, we got Top Pettingale. He comes out to give interview for Mark Merrill and Sable, the
Mhm.
babe of them all, and they show you footage of Mark Merrill wrestling a match, and Sable's there, and Mankind starts confronting Sable because he's obsessed with her, and he starts calling her "mommy, mommy." And Sable does a great job, fucking looking scared and screeching like she's scared of this Mankind fella. And Mark Merrill, they're interviewing him, and he's just like, "Yeah, I don't like that shit. I don't like somebody fucking harassing my wife. But you know what? I gotta focus on Gold Dust because that's my match tonight." Um, Sable is when at this point I totally get why she becomes such a huge star. I totally get it. You know, she
Mhm.
gorgeous to look at. She adds to Mark Merrill. Without her, he's kind of like nothing. she is also Sable's Sunny's downfall. You know,
Sonny's downfall? Oh yes, Sonny. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, she's Sunny's downfall. But I thought her acting when she was seeing Mankind and she was scared, I thought that was very good. And so we're gonna go to match number 4. It is Goldust who comes out with Marlena, another babe at this point, versus Mark Merrow with Sable. So this is a very pleasing to look at match. We get Mark Merrow.
Mhm.
He gets dumped on the floor mid-match, and as this happens, Mankind shows up. He kind of shows up out of nowhere, and he scares the shit out of Sable. She screeches like, ah! Like her. She was a that was a great horror movie screech that she gives. And the
So
referees have
drop this pretty fast. This storyline doesn't go anywhere. They drop it. Kind of glad they drop it because it kind of takes away. It takes away the focus of Mankind and Paul Bearer betraying the Undertaker. Like
yeah.
you can't pull these because also, what is Mark Riddle going to add to this feud? Like if like you know what I'm saying like if Mankind succeeds in like wooing over Sable, what is Mark Merrow going to add for the Undertaker? Nothing.
I don't know if people know this, but this storyline of Mankind being obsessed with Sable and scaring her away, Vince McMahon Jr. based this storyline on after he witnessed wrestling fans trying to talk to women. So this was
Went forward in time and saw what how AEW fans try to talk to women, and he was like, "Oh, this is great."
Mhm. Yeah. The referees come out and they chase Mankind to the back. They go, "Get out of here! Get out of here, you fucking creep!" Mark Merrill missed this whole thing, by the way, because he's getting his ass kicked by Goldust. Um, they both go over the top rope, and Mark Merrill then decides, so I'm going to start hitting my high flying move because Mark Merrill, he was a good high flyer. He's a decent high flyer. He did the somersault plancha on this guy, the somersault slenton plancha, and then the commentaries go, he's got a new move, guys. He's got a new move. They call it the wild thing. He goes up and he hits the wild thing, which is a shooting star press. And when he hits it, that shit wowed the crowd. They were like, "What the fuck was that?" Because remember, this is 1996. You're not seeing the shooting star press a lot. It was beautiful. And Marlena, though, however, she starts distracting the referee. So Mark Merrow, even though he hits that fantastic move, he can't get the win. Um, during this moment, there was something a little distracting. I don't know if you noticed that. There was a guy dressed up as Goldust in the audience. And him and his friends, they were not sitting in the front row, but they somehow finagled their way to sit in the front row during this match. And right after right around when Mark Merrill's hitting that wild thing finisher, you see security get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Like send them all out. So it's a little distracting. But what ends up happening is Goldust hits his curtain call finisher on Mark Merrill to win the match. After he wins the match, Goldust starts harassing Sable. So they're doing this thing where basically Sable is this damsel in distress. She's getting harassed by everybody. And Mark Merrill beats up Goldust a little bit to get some of his heat back. This was a fun match for me to watch. I enjoyed it. I thought Goldust and Mark Merrill are both still good. They have good chemistry against each other. I gave it a B+. I liked it. Did you like it?
No, not that much. I kind of thought the Mankind stuff was distracting. I kind of thought like we've seen these guys have better matches together. I really do feel like Mark Merrill's confidence is shook. He's not who he was. I didn't enjoy it that much. I felt to me very much like a house show match more than a pay-per-view match.
Did you
But
enjoy the shooting star press?
even that was cool. But I mean, he's done that before, so
I think that's the first time he's doing it here, though.
I know. But like we've seen him do it. We've seen him have better matches and do that move. So
I
you
see.
know,
Fair enough.
yeah. I
So
mean, it wasn't the
after,
worst thing, but it just to me, it's like I felt like those guys could have tried a little bit more.
okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So after this, we get a recap of Farouk Assad. Farouk Assad coming out and he attacked Ahmed Johnson, and including a one of the things that happened was Ahmed Johnson. They're really trying to push him, and he was in this battle royal at Monday Night Raw. Did you see the clip that I sent you where he wins it? It's one of the coolest finishes I've ever seen to a
No,
battle
but I
royal.
think I have it on DVD. I think I have seen it.
Okay. He's dumping like Goldust out, And as he's doing it, Ahmed Johnson himself is falling over the top rope, but he has the know-how to just make sure that I hold onto the ropes, and he just dangles. And he uses his legs to keep himself up, and he wins the match. It's one of the coolest unintentional like battle royal wins. But
Hmm.
after Ahmed Johnson beats him up and they say he's out on injury, he actually had a ruptured kidney in like real life, so he can't like actually wrestle. But that's how they explain his injury. Because he's injured, Gorilla Monsoon has to strip him of the Intercontinental title. And
Yes.
Ahmed Johnson does a sit down interview with Kevin Kelly, a very young Kevin Kelly, is talking about it, and he goes, "What?
One of the first things Kevin Kelly ever did for the company.
Yeah, hmm this is
Mhm.
before he became a QAnoner." But Ahmed Johnson, very calm promo, but he goes like, "I know this is like I understand the decision, but I know this is the workers' title." Like he goes, he's like, "Yeah, I know this is like the people's title, but I understand the decision. I got to defend it every day. I can't do it. I get it. I get it." So Gorilla Monsoon has to strip him, and he's gonna make it a fatal 4-way match on Raw the next night for the Intercontinental title. It was a good recap. I thought it was a very good recap of what's going on. That's going to lead to the very next segment. Todd Pettengill, he's in the ring, and he welcomes Sonny and Farouk Assad to the ring. And Farouk, he cuts a promo going, "I want that Intercontinental belt. No one else should be having it. And I should be the one who just gets it. I'm the guy who took the champion out anyway." And he goes, "Nobody orders me around." And then he goes, "Oh, when I'm the champion, we're gonna see a lot more sunny days around here," which really pissed off Bret Hart, by the way.
For how was it? Those are my days.
Yeah. Um. So a little background on this from what I listened to about Sunday something to wrestle with, because this is an odd pairing. I always thought this was a really odd pairing of Sunny managing Farouk Assad. Did you think this was odd when you were a kid?
Well, when I heard about it, yeah, because I remember I wasn't watching, but also I was like, oh, this is good because maybe Sonny will have a more serious role because, I knew Ron Simmons had been the WCW champion, and I'm like, maybe they're gonna let him like, take on Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart, and then Sonny will be involved in serious storylines. And so I kind of looked at it again, I wasn't watching the show as a plus for her, but it doesn't last long.
Yeah. So this is a weird pairing. And the reason why the original idea they had for this was that they were going to do a thing where Sonny was managing Farouk because they were actually hooking up. And
Mm,
they were supposed to make out and everything like on TV.
mhm,
Farouk was cool with it. Farouk's wife was cool with it. The person who was not cool with it and did not want to do it is Sonny. And Sunny
mm.
claims it's not it had nothing to do with race, even though nobody asked her if it had to do with race. She's like, "I'm not racist. I'm just not attracted to him. I don't want to kiss him," which is bullshit. She said she didn't want to do it because she's not attracted to him, but she did a. So what is she? So she was attracted to Phineas. That's why she was able to kiss him and do this fake stuff. Here's the thing: Sunny acts like she's not, but there's been other times
From
where
New
she's
Jersey.
proven she's a little racist. I
Yeah.
remember listening to her talk about her time in Puerto Rico, and she said some fucked up things about the Puerto Ricans, calling them monkeys and all this shit. No, no, not in storyline. She's talking about it afterwards in a shoot interview. This is why I also do not believe that rumor that she slept with Ahmed Johnson, because Sunny is kind of racist. She don't like the dark men, you know.
But Ahmed. I mean, come on, Ahmed and
Ahmed,
Farouk.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I 100% think that she. I no. Here's the thing with her. I don't. I think behind the scenes, like when no one's looking, she'll bang a black guy if she has to. But I don't think she wants to put it out there that she's banging a black guy as a character on TV. I think, which is what a lot of white women are like. But yeah, I think that's why they didn't do it. Again, though, if they do that, that the nation domination might not happen, and there's no Rock.
Yeah. Well, but that's why this pairing is so odd. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. So after
Didn't
this,
didn't they do an open mouth kiss on TV and like once? Like they did it once, right? Or no?
I'm not sure, but that's what do you call it? Because Conrad, he this is like a really old episode.
Mm-hmm.
Conrad did mention, he said like, because he says it like, this is a weird pairing. I don't get this pairing. Why would you guys do this pairing? And Bruce said the original thing was supposed to be that they were supposed to make out and stuff on whenever they come out and stuff, but she just didn't. She refused to do it. So maybe they did kiss once. Who knows? But she refused. She said she wasn't into that, and she just doesn't like dark men. Does not.
Like she likes white meat. That's
She
just
does. She does. Um, so after this recap, we get another recap. This time it's a recap of Jerry King Lawler mocking Jake the Snake Roberts' alcoholism, right?
Mhm.
Oh, he's an alcoholic and all this. And then after this, we get Mark Henry. He comes out for his pay-per-view debut. He's not gonna be wrestling. He's just gonna be sitting and joining commentary. He comes out to like I think Bob Backlund's theme song. So Mark Henry joins commentary. He shakes everyone's hand but Mr. Perfect's hand. And Mr. Perfect's like, "You're not gonna shake my hand." And then he goes and he shakes his hand last. He goes, "Sorry about that." And then Jared King Lawler comes out.
Well,
This is why Jared King Lawler is not on commentary because he's gonna be having a match. He
did
comes
you
out with
did you ever see the early promo videos from Mark Henry when before he
yeah,
debuted?
yeah.
Basically, we're like it was Vince was basically saying like this is going to be the next guy, like, and you have no say in it, and it doesn't happen. But he kind of like he really they were really pushing Mark Henry to be like a top baby face, like
Yeah, yeah. They were. They were. You know what? It was kind of. It was not exactly the same thing, but it was kind of similar. Is like what they did with Gable Steveson.
yeah.
Like they made a big deal of the fact that they signed this guy and he fizzled out real fast. But
Mhm.
like I remember when Mark Henry, when they first signed it, they kept making a big deal out of it. And I just like I was just like, I get it. He's like an Olympic level lifter. Like, who cares? Like, I just wasn't into it. But yeah, don't get me wrong. Mark Henry, he
He proved
proved
himself
he.
over time.
Oh yeah, he's a hauler.
Not
I
today.
think he had such I'm a big Mark Henry fan. I think he had such a great run. So he actually panned out he really well. So at the end of the day, Junior was right. You know,
He's always right, and Triple H is always
he's always right. Okay, sure. So Jerry King Lawler comes out with a snake bag, like Jake Roberts would, but there's no snake in that one. And he pulls out Ravens merchandise, Baltimore Ravens, and everyone's a mad. And Mark Henry fucking loves it. He starts going, "Oh, that's fantastic!" Oh, he starts putting over Chair King Lawler being an asshole, and then Chair King Lawler goes, "Hey, I got for tonight's match with Jake Roberts, I got his tag team partners," and he brings out Jim Bean and Jack Daniels. And you know what? It sounds stupid, but it's actually pretty funny because Jared King Lawler has good comedic delivery. And
Mhm.
Mr. Perfect's a heel on commentary, so he's laughing at this. But you know who
Yeah.
else is laughing at this? Mark Henry. Mark Henry's laughing. And I don't know what happened. Maybe like Junior gave him a hard look, but after he does a good laugh, he goes, "It's actually not funny." he has
That
to,
characters is supposed to find that funny.
yeah, yeah, he has to correct himself. He goes, "It's actually not funny." I thought that was. I thought it was like I could picture like Junior just like giving him this fucking look, like cut that fucking shit out. Don't fucking laugh at it.
You fucking
But it's
idiot. Yeah.
funny. Didn't you think it was funny the shit he was saying?
I mean, it is, but also it's like I just feel like they have a history of when someone has problems, they like to rub it in their face on TV, and I think I don't know. I think like it does more harm than good. Like the three people they've done this to regressed into being addicts again. Jake Roberts, Scott Hall, and Hawk. I don't think it does any help for them to do this. Like I don't know.
No, it doesn't. But what Jared Kinlaw is saying was funny. It
Yeah.
was funny. You know how funny it is? The next thing he says, he starts making fun of Jake Roberts' ugly wife, and you know who laughs this time? Junior. Junior laughs this time, right? And then after he laughs, he goes, "That's actually bad." He has to try to correct himself. He's
Right.
cracking everybody up. It's so good. And then then after this, Jared King Lawler turns his attention to Mark Henry and he starts making fun of Mark Henry. It's
Mhm.
no laughing matter at this point for Mark Henry. Then,
No.
last but not least, Jerry the King Lawler pulls out a huge bottle of alcohol out of the snake bag, and he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna give this to you, Jake." And then Jake Roberts comes out, and he's fuming mad, and he pulls out the snake and he puts it on Jerry the King Lawler, and it's gonna lead to our fifth match: Jerry the King Lawler versus Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake Roberts pissed, so he's like slams King into the steel steps. He stomps on his balls, which I thought was funny. He just stomped on his balls. He slams him on the floor. And then Jerry the King Lawler grabs a drink from the fan. He throws it in Jake's face. And Mark Henry's like, "Hey, how's that? How's that? Is that fan going to get another drink after this?" I was like, "Why do you care about that? Why does that matter, dude?" Because Mark Henry,
It cost like $8. Like,
yeah, because you know what? Because why? Mark Henry is just a fan at this point, so he's got all the fan takes, you know.
like, he was like poor.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. He's like, "Hey, is that fan gonna get another drink? What's going to happen with his drink?"
I'm this guy. Why do that to him?
Jerry Lawler, he ties a Jake up, and then he gets a bottle, uh, one of the bottles, and he jams it into Jake Roberts' throat, right in front of the referee, Harvey Whippleman, who doesn't do anything, and then he covers Jake Roberts to win the match. Afterwards, this is the part that this was too much, and Jake Roberts talked about this being too much.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry the King Lawler, he opens up one of the bottles and he pours the booze all over Jake Roberts' face, and then he gets the second bottle to pour it all over his face. By the way, this was real alcohol. This was
Yeah,
real.
that's fine. I don't like that.
Yeah, that this part I don't like. You're right. They should have used fake alcohol.
This whole thing,
cut out. You cut out, Ray.
the whole thing is a miss for me. This whole segment for me.
Yeah, yeah. Not the match. We'll get not the match too, or just the segment, just the afterwards.
The thing, because at the the thing with Jake Roberts is maybe he's not as okay in the real world. Maybe he's not as honest with people as he claims to be. That he's not drinking or doing drugs.
Yeah,
That's not your business. But here with the Jake Roberts thing, you can tell a pretty good storyline. Because it's fantasy. Who gives a fuck? You can tell a pretty good storyline about a guy overcoming his demons, right? But it's
yeah,
almost like Vince doesn't want him to overcome his demons. Like to pour real alcohol, and he did this to Scott Hall. They put real alcohol in Scott Hall's face too when the NWO came back. To pour real alcohol on an alcoholic who's trying to recover is like you might as well just fucking murder them. Like, what are you doing? Like that to me is like you're not helping this guy, and this guy has made so much money for you, and he's still making money for that company with figures, with T-shirts, with what have you. And it's just like to me, it's like, dude, like there's better ways to do this. Even if you want to bring a bottle over his head, like just put fucking tea, like put uh iced tea in it. Who's gonna know?
no, I agree. But Jerry Roberts confirmed that this was actually real booze, and he's not.
Because Vince
Lawler is not just pouring it over his head; he's pouring it in his down his throat and everything.
exactly.
He gets the second bottle to do the same thing, but Mark Henry has had enough. He gets up, he stops Jerry King Lawler, and then he helps Jake Roberts to the back. This segment was in poor taste. That ending was in very poor taste, but I actually enjoyed almost everything up to it. So I give this a B. It was enjoyable to watch for me.
But my thing with this segment, and this goes to who I think Vince McMahon is as a person. We're talking about how Vince McMahon is as a person. We get to the Vader match too. Is that like if this segment is just meant for me and you to be entertained, then you put fucking sweet tea or you put colored water in a bottle of booze, right? This segment was made to humiliate Jake Roberts and fuck with his head. And to me, it's like, why do you have to do that, Jake Roberts? Like, why? Like he regresses to the point where he almost loses his family forever.
Yeah, that's why Junior is a fucking terrible human being. Yeah, he's a terrible
Yeah.
human being. Yeah, yeah. That's like an evil. It's an
It's like an
evil thing
evil.
to do. It's an evil thing to do. Yeah.
It's like, why can't? Because it's like to me, if I was Jake, I'm like, can I ask a question? Why couldn't that just be iced tea? Like, you give me
Yeah.
the reason why it had to be alcohol. No one's gonna know it's alcohol but me and you. Why did it have to
Yeah.
be alcohol? The answer
Yeah.
is I want to ruin your life. I don't like for some reason I want you to die in an alleyway. That's Vince McMahon's ultimate goal with Jake the Snake.
Yeah, yeah. I am somebody who I haven't drank in over 2 years, and
Mhm.
would hate it if somebody poured real alcohol down my throat as a gag or something. I would be like, why does it have to be real? Can it just be fucking fake? Like, I would be so fucking furious about that.
I
Um,
think also like one time Jericho broke a bottle of alcohol over CM Punk's head, and they use real alcohol too. It's like they for some reason, but then Vince is gonna be like, oh, I don't have not that CM Punk's recovering to a hole. He's just a loser. Um, but it's like Vince will be like if Jake the Snake Roberts fucking overdosed in 1999, he'd be like, "Oh, that's not my fault." It's like, no, but that is your fault. That is your fault because the guy came, "Oh, I'm clean and sober," and then you like dangle alcohol in his face. Like, come on.
yeah, I agree. All right. So after this, they show you that Bob Backlund is in the crowd campaigning. He's campaigning still, and then we get a recap of Mankind and Undertaker, all the problems they had, all their issues, and we're just gonna lead to our sixth match. This is the penultimate match. It's the Boiler Room match, guys. A very famous match. Paul Bear comes out first to the ring because he's gonna stand in the middle of the ring holding this urn because the point of this match is you start in the Boiler Room, you have to fight your way out, and the first person who gets the urn from Paul Bear in the middle of the ring wins the match. That's the layout of this match. So
Mhm.
camera follows Undertaker into going into the Boiler Room very slowly, right? And he
Mhm.
starts looking for Mankind. He's looking for Mankind in this dark, and he's looking for him. Finally, Mankind attacks Undertaker from behind, and they just start fighting. And they do this crappy thing where the video keeps cutting out and shit. It's so phony. I don't like it when they do that. It's like I don't know. I just that was stupid. And then Mankind crotches Undertaker with a pipe. And not only that, we get these fake crowd noise piped into this fucking thing. This is like the first cinematic match in a sense. It's like the fake
Mhm.
fucking camera cutting, the fake crowd noise.
Well,
Undertaker,
what it was with this match. So they didn't have really a big screen yet, like they do now. They rolled out TVs, like
yes,
I don't know if you saw. They rolled out TVs, and a lot of people said at the arena they really couldn't see the match. So what are they can't really react to anything, you know. So they're
hmm
just watching Paul Bearer stand in the ring like a fucking idiot.
yeah, but I didn't get that. But it's like they're does the piping and the fake noise and shit is just taking me out of it.
Yeah, I know. A lot of what
Undertaker,
they did, a lot of the production of the match before they get back into the ring takes me out of it. For the problem I have with this match is they should have had the commentators talk.
yeah,
That was the idea to not have them really speak. And I think that takes away from the match. And I think Mankind has said the same thing, Mick Foley, because he said I think Jim Ross could have got over how brutal what we were doing to each other was. And instead it kind of looks comical without anyone without people talking over it.
yes, yes. Undertaker, by the way, even though it's kind of boring and nothing's happening, I mean, they're really fighting in a real boiler room. So Undertaker's like elbows fucking bleeding because they're falling on concrete and shit. Mankind, they do this thing where he sets up a ladder. He climbs up the ladder and he drops an elbow on Undertaker, who's laying on like cardboard boxes. Still brutal, but the fucking fake crowd noise afterward, and then the fake camera cutting out. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? It's like taking me out of it. We come back. They do a cut like the camera is like cutting out, and then it comes back to Mankind setting up another ladder, and he climbs to the top of it. And then Undertaker, because the previous ladder wasn't like it was just like a ladder like built into the walls. This was the second time it's like a real ladder, and they used the fake camera cut to kind of like when it comes back, he's got this ladder with him, and then he climbs it to the top. But the Undertaker gets up and he pulls the ladder like forward, and Undertaker, Mankind comes crashing down onto some pads. That was another crazy spot. That was a cool spot.
That was cool.
Yeah, then Undertaker sprays Mankind with the fire extinguisher, and then he goes to leave, but Mankind still fights him off, grabs him, and Mankind actually leaves first. Mankind leaves and he starts barricading the door for the boiler room. But Undertaker, like fucking Kool-Aid Man, bursts through the door, and all these other WWE superstars are like cheering him on. They're like, "Yeah, man, that was awesome," including Stone Cold Steve Austin. You do this is the one time you see Stone Cold Steve Austin is during the thing where they're fighting through the hallway and the superstars are just looking, going, ah! That's the one time you see Austin in this pay-per-view. It's so stupid.
Do it for me.
Yeah. Mankind has this, so they're fighting their way through the hallways to get back to the ring, and Mankind gets like a thing of a whole canister of like hot coffee, and he pours it on Undertaker, and then he comes out to the arena first. But then Undertaker follows him out to the arena, and he's got a 2x4, and he starts beating Mankind with it. Mankind pile drives Undertaker on the concrete, but then Taker slingshots Mankind off the apron onto the concrete. So they made it all into the ring by now, right?
Hmm?
So after Undertaker slingshots Mankind off the apron, and Mankind's on the ground, Undertaker gets into the ring and he gets down on his knees and he's like, "I want that urn." But Paul Bear turns his back to Undertaker, and this allows Mankind to put the mandible claw on Undertaker as Paul Bear starts laughing. Then he he turns around and slaps Undertaker and he stomps on Undertaker, and then he smashes the urn on Undertaker his head, and then he gives it to Mankind for Mankind to win. After this match, the lights go out, a bunch of druids come out and they carry Undertaker away. I don't know why this match is so famous because I hated this match. I gave it a C. It's like the effort's there, but the way they did it was just like it was just kind of took me out. It was very boring. This is the worst match, I think. No. Second to worst match on this show. You know?
Yeah, I used to like this match. I don't like it anymore. I will say once he gets to the ring, they do the angle. It's a lot better. But you could have done the angle without all the nonsense in the back. But as far as like character work for the Undertaker, I think this match is important because I think he needed to get rid of Paul Bearer. And as I said, all of this is going to lead to Kane, which is good. So from a character evolution standpoint, from an angle standpoint, I like the match, but the work is not good. The presentation is not good. And I think the Buried Alive match in 2 months is much better than this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So after this, we got Doc Hendricks. He is with Vader and Jim Cornette, and they make a lot of promises. And then Vader smashes some steel steps as he's entering the ring. He is fucking mad. We're gonna go to our final match number 7 for the WWF title. Vader with Jim Cornette versus Shawn Michaels, the champion, with Jose Lotharia. This girl, as Shawn Michaels is coming out, jumps the rail and like hugs Shawn Michaels like as he's coming out. Women are going crazy. They're just like going nuts for Shawn Michaels. I'm telling you, Shawn Michaels is over with the women. They fucking love him. This is the second time we've seen like fans going like almost over the rails to barricade to get to Shawn Michaels. He has it.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, very early on, he dives onto Vader on the floor. He's in control very early, and they both go over the top rope as well. But then Shawn Michaels skins the cat back in. But he doesn't. He goes after Vader again, but then he eats a power bomb on the floor. For Vader to start the beatdown process. He took this power bomb right in front of a male fan that was dressed just like Shawn Michaels. So he's also quite popular with the male fans as well. Do you see that kid who's dressed? He's not even a kid. He's like a man. He's just like Shawn Michaels.
I can tell you, if you were dressing up like the wrestlers in 1996 at a WWF show, you are a special kind of nerd. I want to talk to like people today. Being like,
yeah. This is 1996, where not a lot of people are doing it. But he's, you know what? If you're dressing up like Goldust or Hulk Hogan, I kind of get it. But like, if you're a dude and you're dressing up like Shawn Michaels, I'm like, okay, it's kind of
I want
interesting.
that guy's story, man. I want to talk to him.
Yeah, I would be interested in talking to him too. Yeah. All right, so Shawn Michaels getting beat up, and then he finally fires back with a nut shot to Vader. So then Vader goes down, and then Shawn Michaels goes up for the top rope. Now he's supposed to come down with an elbow drop, and what's supposed to happen is Vader's supposed to move out of the way because Shawn Michaels' elbow drop is one of his like 5 moves of doom, like his finishing sequence, and they're not ready to get to that yet. So he's supposed to move. Vader doesn't move, and according to Vader, he didn't hear Shawn Michaels tell him to move. So or he forgot. So Shawn Michaels, when he jumps down, he lands on his feet, and then he just stomps on Vader's head, and he kneels and he bends over and he yells, "Move, move!" And then he stomps on his head one more time.
He's stupid, stupid.
No, I think he said "move." He yells, "Move!"
I thought he also said stupid.
No, that's Randy Orton. Stupid,
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 stupid.
stupid.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something with Vader? Can I tell you something with Vader and the Shawn
Yes,
Michaels thing? So
yes, yes. Please tell me. Tell
when I heard about this year on Bruce Pritchard show, I'm like, oh, Shawn Michaels is a dick. Vader's such a good worker. Da, da. But you know what? Now that we've seen Vader like hit everyone for real all this time, I kind of feel it's justified that Shawn Michaels did that because Vader is really hitting. He's even hitting Shawn in this match, and then he's
Yes.
not cooperating. He's not helping Shawn make this match the best again. It's still a great match, and I kind of think like, oh, here's a receipt. Here's a receipt. I'm gonna stomp you in the head for real. You can't do anything about it because I'm the top guy. Like I totally get Shawn Michaels after watching all the Vader matches we watched. I totally get, and yeah, Vader, fucking move. Come on.
Okay. So I agree with you on some parts of this, and I did listen to that something to wrestle with recently because I want it's just good reference points. So I agree with you, Vader. The internet narrative about Vader is that Shawn Michaels ruined Vader in WWF, right? He killed his confidence. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Yeah, if he from the get go doesn't have it, and he doesn't have it for two reasons though. This is the information I got from the Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard. Number one, he was overweight, more overweight than he was when he was in WCW. Right? He was
Mhm.
overweight the whole time he was there. Number two, he was constantly injured. So he actually came into WWF injured to begin with. He came in injured. He was already injured and he had to debut hurt. And after that, he was getting injury after injury, and that's why they never also pushed him as a top guy because he was so injury prone. They were just like, we can't trust this guy. So
I'll give you a number three. I think there's a third factor that ruined his career. I think he never got over Cole or Dorf beating the shit out of him. I
I
don't
think
think.
so too. I think that probably killed some of his confidence. Yeah, I agree. Um, the, it's so while his work in WWF is not good at all from the beginning, there's reasons why, but none of those reasons of why his work is not good in WWE is Shawn Michaels, right? Now, I think what Shawn Michaels did here was super unprofessional. I get it. If Vader sucks, you you don't want you go in the back after the match and you go, I never want to work with this fucking slob again. But you don't do that during the pay per view. You know, I don't know. It's to me, I'm like, you don't do that. It's super unprofessional. Conrad Thompson made a good point. He said, "This is why you'll never see Ric Flair do that during a match, and that's why." And he said he'll come in the back and he'll bitch afterwards, but you never do that in front of the fans, and that's why Ric Flair will always be the best. And I kind of agree in that sense.
Do you see Sean like also yells at the cameraman when he goes out? No, I get it, but
Yeah,
also
he
I
pushes.
feel
Yeah,
like,
Shawn Michaels super unprofessional. Yeah, I saw
but
that.
I also kind of feel like you could also say that Vader's been unprofessional for 5 years. He's hitting these motherfuckers for real, and everyone's just like, well, that's what Vader does. Literally, that's what nobody else does on the planet. So I could see Sean being like, I let you smack me around for real. I let you get a little bit stiffer, and you're not working with me. So I'm going to give you a taste of your own medicine, and give you a receipt. But I don't
Bruce
know.
Pritchard also mentions that. You're right. He said even though that was unprofessional, there was a lot of people who didn't have any sympathy for Vader because, as you mentioned, he was a bully to a lot of people,
Yeah.
and this was a case of a bully getting bullied back. And really don't really have a lot of sympathy for somebody who's a
Well,
bully. So I
saying
get that.
Sean, if Sean goes in the back and like tries to fight him, there's a chance that Vader will. But you're live on pay per view. If Vader like goes against script and pins Shawn Michaels for real, he's blackballed from the industry. He'll never work again.
Yeah,
So Sean basically is like, and also, I think like they were working on house shows. Probably there's a lot of times where Sean would say to Vader, "Ease up," because I've heard this with Vader that people said to Vader, "Ease up," he doesn't ease up. And I feel like Sean's like, this is my moment to fucking teach this guy a lesson, and I'm just gonna go for it. And I know it's
Yeah.
unprofessional, but I think I don't know, man. We've seen Vader rock guys where it's like
Oh
no one
yeah.
tries that hard,
Yeah.
you
Um,
know?
here's another thing too. Um, Bret Hart said wrestling Vader is like wrestling a dump truck filled with puke, right? So they talk about he supposedly smells really bad, like really fucking bad. And they said that if you wrestled him, you would smell like him too, right? Like you
Yeah,
can't get that smell.
I feel like it's building in the back, and also this is the other thing we don't know. I was thinking about this watching. How do we not know like a lot of these guys in WWF are still close friends with Paul Orndorff? And how do we know Paul Orndorff didn't say, when you get a chance, make this guy look stupid?
Or say, hey, give him one for me, right? You know,
You
you're right.
know,
That's a good point. That's a good point.
wrestlers are very close, and I kind of feel what Vader did to Paul Orndorff kind of like goes against wrestling code because Paul Orndorff is injured and stuff. So I feel like a lot of wrestlers are like, you have a receipt coming because even though Paul Orndorff kicked your ass, you did pick a fight with someone who's like handicapped, and we're gonna fucking teach you a lesson. So that's the other thing I thought.
And who at this point is a very well respected veteran in the business.
Yeah. So for all we know, even Vince could have been like, "Oh, I do like Paul." So when they're at the right moment, for all we know, Vince said to Sean, "At the right moment, we're gonna make this guy look fucking stupid." And I'll tell you when the end, you know?
Yeah. So after Shawn Michaels stomps on a Vader's head, they still keep working. They start working again together, and they both go over the top rope to the floor.
After the stomp on the head, I got to be honest with you. Not the finishes, but the work itself. The three finishes was fucking stupid, but the work itself,
The work itself, what?
the work itself in the ring, the way they work in the ring is good. I didn't like the three finishes, but the way they're moving is good. I was captivated by the work that Vader.
So, so
But
after the stomp to the face, Vader's work gets a little better. So I will admit
yeah,
that it did help. Something about it, like after he got stomped in the face twice by Shawn Michaels, he kind of like, I guess that was the extra adrenaline he needed because he gets a little faster. Like his work is a little better. Yeah, it's so after they
I like this match, but I hated the three finishes that they did. I think they should
yeah,
have done one, but the work between the bullshit finishes is very very good, very
yeah.
very good. Edge of your
So so they go over the top rope to the floor, and Shawn Michaels gets dropped on the guardrail, and Vader makes it back into the ring to win by count out. That's the
yeah.
first one. Now Jim Cornette gets in the microphone. Remember talking about when they cut the promo before, he cut the promo making a lot of promises about how Vader was going to be a champion and Camp Cornette was finally going to get the championship in their corner. And Jim Cornette knows you can't win the title by count out. So he goes, no. Shawn Michaels doing this shit on purpose so you can keep the belt. Restart the match, please. Please restart the match. We can't get the title without an count out. So they restart the match. And as soon as they restarted, Vader just attacks Shawn Michaels in the aisle, and he beats on him. And then even Jim Cornette gets a shot at Shawn Michaels with the racket himself. But Shawn Michaels fires back. He kips up. That's his Hulk up move, and is gonna begin his 5 moves of doom, including that elbow drop that he hits. This is where he was supposed to hit it, right? That's why Vader had to move the first time. And then he goes for the sweet chin music, but Jim Cornette like is holding on to Shawn Michaels' leg and stops the sweet chin music. And this frustrates Shawn Michaels, so he like attacks Jim Cornette. He gets Jim Cornette's racket, and he's so frustrated he starts beating Vader with the racket. He starts beating Jim Cornette with the racket. That's a foreign object. Referee calls for a DQ for Vader to win again. Once again, the titles cannot change on DQ. So Jim Cornette once again gets on the mic and he goes, "Please restart this match. We need this title belt. Please restart the match." Match starts again, and Shawn Michaels hits the sweet chin music, and Vader is knocked out, and Shawn Michaels covers him 1-2, but Vader kicks out. So
That
that's
was
a
good.
big deal. That was a big
That
deal. Even Bret Hart didn't kick out of the sweet chin music.
mhm.
Shawn Michaels bumps the referee, and then he eats a power bomb from Vader, And then he goes for, they count the cover, but Shawn Michaels, it's his turn to kick out this time. So the match continues. Vader sets up Shawn Michaels, and he's about to hit the Vader bomb off the second rope, second turnbuckle. And Jim Cornette goes, no, go to the top, go to the top. So Vader goes to the top. He does his moonsault. He misses the moonsault. Shawn Michaels hits a moonsault of his own to win the match. There's a lot of shenanigans. I agree with you. I hate the 3 finishes. I think if you kick out the 3 finishes, this would be like an A match. But because of those silly 2 extra finishes they had to put in, I get it as a B minus. It's still a good match. It's still a very good match to watch.
I think it was the best match on the show. Yeah, those 3 finish. Also, they make Jim Cornette like all the managers on this show, except for Paul Bearer, look like shit on this show. They look like fucking. I'm almost like I would rather have Paul Bearer as my manager than you, Jim Cornette. Like you like screwed me. Like we probably could have got like a if Vader won by DQ. Like if this is real, right? If this is real, and Vader like the Vader character could be like, bro, if I won by DQ or count out, we could secure a match where it's no DQ, and then we can just beat the shit out of Shawn Michaels in the next pay-per-view. Like your nonsense.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Your nonsense because your nonsense didn't help, and it's like it just makes Jim Cornette look stupid because Shawn Michaels does eventually beat him. Now, this wasn't supposed to be the end of the story. The
whole point was this was not supposed to be the end of their feud. What was supposed to happen? Right.
They were supposed to beat Shawn at Survivor Series 96. They already
So Vader was supposed to become the World Wrestling Federation champion at where? Survivor Series, right?
Survivor 96.
Mm-hmm.
And then at Royal Rumble 97, Shawn was going to get the belt back. And then I think they were going to do Shawn versus Brett one more time at WrestleMania 13. But because Shawn got so annoyed by Vader, they switched it to Sid. I will say that was the right call. Like I've said before on the show, this is Sid's time. This was the time to strike on Sid. And it was the right call. So yeah, the finish is stupid. It was supposed to be the end. I'm sure if they knew going in we're never going to go back to Vader Shawn, they would have had a better finish. But it is what it is. But it made Jim Cornette look stupid. Honestly, like if the next night Vader doesn't just like beat the crap out of, and he didn't. If like the next night Vader should just destroyed Jim Cornette and been like, I'm done with you. You're a waste of my time. You're a waste of all our times. But
yeah, like if you look, I know, yeah, you're right. Like, so this finish is stupid on a standalone, and I get like if you think of it like if you take into consideration the original plan, it doesn't. Okay, then it makes a little bit more sense. But even then, it's still a little stupid. But unfortunately, Vader was not good to work with, so we're never gonna get there. And that those finishes really take away from what could have been a classic matchup between these two. But I'm also kind of glad Vader is not a champion, just like you, because he just doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it.
it's over, and I think he knows that Vince doesn't believe in him. And rather than be like, I'm going to prove Vince wrong, which is what Stone Cold did, which is what The Rock did, which is what Mankind did, which is what everybody who saves this company, including all Triple H. He didn't believe in Triple H, period. And then he believed in him too much. But everyone who he didn't believe in said, I'm going to prove you wrong, and they did. And Vader instead was like, just got worse. And he proved Vince right. You don't have it. Sorry, Vader.
So going back to what I was originally saying in the beginning of this podcast, it's not as good as Hogwild, 100%, but this is still a fun pay-per-view to watch. If you think about it, one of the worst matches is the Boiler Room match, and that's also not a terrible match. And if that's one of the worst matches on this show, you could tell the rest of these matches aren't that bad as well.
I like that match more than the Goldust and the Owen Hart match, even though I didn't think it was that great. Yeah, it's not bad, but Hogwild still is WCW just on fire now. And these guys.
At this point, WCW's bar is so high that even if you have a good pay-per-view, it's just like nowhere near that level of how good. It's like you can't compete with that. Basically, you just can't.
Yeah, by God, you can't. All right, let's review the next 4 weeks. Let's go over what's about to happen next week, guys. We're going to talk Full Brawl 96.
Yes.
which features the NWO versus WCW in War Games, and the WCW team is Sting, Luger, Arn, and Flair versus the Outsider, Hulk Hogan, and a mysterious fourth member. Do you know who that fourth member is?
No, please don't tell me.
All right, you'll have fun. It's Bret Hart. I went back in time and changed history. In 2 weeks, dude, that would have been fire if it was Bret Hart back
Yeah.
then. In 2 weeks, we have In Your House Mind Games, which is Mankind versus Shawn Michaels. In 3 weeks, we have In Your House Buried Alive, which is Mankind versus Undertaker in a Buried Alive match, the first one ever. And then in 4 weeks, we have Halloween Havoc 96, and that one features Hulk Hogan versus Randy Savage. But this time the roles reversed. Hogan's the heel. What are you looking forward to, Andrew?
WCW. I actually gonna be honest with you. I could already tell. I already feel like WCW is gonna have the better pay per views because they're not even up against like big time WWF pay per views. These are in your houses, so it's not even like the major ones. So this is gonna be a slaughter.
But the next four shows I haven't seen, the only one I have seen was Buried Alive, and that's not that bad. It's pretty good. But I have a feeling Halloween Havoc and Full Brawl are going to be fucking fire. So
Yeah, I feel like 1996, like Halloween Havoc. But I just feel it. This is like we're in the peak. We're in like the best part of the NWO. You
yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think I just don't think it's gonna matter whatever WWF does. Sable come out naked and it still wouldn't matter.
Well, that would matter to me, but I get what you're saying.
All
Um,
right.
all right, guys. So subscribe to the podcast, Boots Wrestling Pod. Tell us, listen, we're having fun doing the show. This is like one of the most fun eras to talk about. I think 94 wasn't that fun to talk about. 93 wasn't that fun to talk about. This is a lot of fun to talk about. So tell your friends to tune in. Give us a like, leave some comments. And yeah, it's just going to get better because the shows get better. And when WCW starts collapsing in 98, it's actually fun to talk about. It's not like it's going to be like, oh, this is so boring. It's actually really fun to talk about WCW 98, 99. So,
I
you know,
think it's actually funner to make fun of them for falling apart than it is reviewing how good they are.
exactly. Yeah. So it's going to be, so you're in for, now the only problem is, so someone found this out. So, like they're uploading all the WCW stuff on YouTube. WCW has a YouTube page now, right?
No, I didn't, but okay.
WCW YouTube page. Do me a favor, do us all a favor if you listen to this. Subscribe to the WCW YouTube page. They're not uploading any shows of Chris Benoit. And if Peacock goes under, the Peacock deal collapses, that's going to be a problem for me. I think that's so we'll see. Dude, we're going to keep doing this show as long as the archives are available. And like I said, let's say all the pay-per-views disappear from streaming and the only thing we have option left is TNA. We'll go right to TNA and start doing their shows. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah.
is whatever we can get our hands on. But for now, we're very fortunate. We can go in order. Everything's at our fingertips. We're just going to keep going, see what happens.
And if we go to TNA, I'm sure both our listeners won't mind.
All right, guys. That's the show. Next week, it's Fall Brawl, and we'll see you there. Thanks, guys. We appreciate everything you do, and thank you for our two listeners, and Jimmy, and thanks to Jimmy Uso for fighting Gunther the other day. Thanks, guys.